Hi everyone, Sue Matsuki here with another Sue's Views. And I have a guest on my Sue's Views today because I just did an interview with Maria for NiteLife Exchange, and we were talking about the importance of sound because we saw a show a couple nights ago that the singer wasn't well represented in terms of the sound. So Maria, thank you for staying with me. Maria Corsaro, everyone. Talk to me a little bit about, as a singer in that jazz vernacular that has that kind of cool feel, how important you feel it is that there's someone there or somehow to protect your voice from being heard when you have a trio or more instruments behind you. Tell me what you feel about that.
Well, I'm kind of on a mission, to tell you the truth, because I go to a lot of shows like you do. And oftentimes, uh, you know, the band is so amazing, and the vocalist is so amazing, but you can't hear the vocalist as much as you can hear the band. So there's an imbalance of sound. And as a singer on stage, I know that, you know, I do a sound check and I think, well, everything's fine because the tech sound technician says, we're cool. And, the trio behind me, is happy with what they're hearing on stage. And it sounds okay to me because I have a monitor and I can hear myself, but I don't know what anybody outside of the stage can actually hear.
Right.
So I think it's really important for vocalists to remember that they need somebody out there in the audience during a sound check
Mhm.
to really represent their sound and to
I
make
also
sure.
think not just during sound check, I think what you just said is important. Adrenaline kicks in and it kicks in for the band too. And they're having a good time. And it's not intentional
No,
that they play louder or whatever. They are just in it and creating art and music. So levels change. Levels can change because there's a smaller house or more bodies in the house. The number of bodies will change the sound situation. So not only do you need someone, I think, at sound check, which is usually my director. I usually have her come to sound check, and she also does what I call rides the board or rides the technician. So if that happens during the show and levels start to raise up in terms of adrenaline or whatever, or the musicians get louder, or the singer is doing a more finessed, quiet song, that person, as your advocate, should go over and say, "Can we get more mic on the singer?" Definitely hire someone to do that or make that part of what your team's responsibilities are. What's the most important thing on stage for any singer is to hear yourself and to hear the blend, correct?
yes, yes. And again, you may be able to hear yourself and the blend, or maybe not, but at least, during a sound check, you make that, more balanced for yourself on stage. But again, what they're hearing, what the audience is hearing, it may not be what you think is happening.
Right.
So you do absolutely need somebody out there, being your ears for you and to represent the vocals. And the more instruments you have on stage, the more challenging I think it's going to be.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing too is, even in an open mic situation, there are a couple places where, renowned clubs, but they're not really set up for singers, especially some of the really famous jazz clubs. They're more historically instrumentational jazz representation and stuff like that. So they didn't grow up catering to singers. But you go to an open mic and we as singers, we get self-conscious. And if there's no monitor in front of us and we can't really hear what we sound like with the band, what we do is we tend to push. We tend to sing louder, which makes us go sharp or flat, which makes us lose our voice, which makes us go off pitch. So there's a couple places that I know this happens at that I will say to the new singer and say, just sing the way you sing and trust that the tech person has your back and that you can be heard out front because they will definitely push and press. And most everyone comes off stage and says, "That's exactly what happened. I couldn't hear myself, but I remembered you saying, just sing." And sometimes those tech people, most times those tech people, they're amazing technicians at what they do. But unless you have that advocate out in the house saying, "Hey, I really can't hear her and I'm in the audience. We need to bring that mic up a little bit more because the song is bigger," or "We need to bring that mic up a little bit more because it's more finessed and a quieter place in her voice," type thing. So that's what I would highly recommend. What would you say is the most important thing to say to this advocate of yours in terms of protecting yourself?
Oh, I would say, please listen to my voice, as we go through various parts of songs during the sound check or even while I'm singing. And please make sure that I can be heard in all areas of the house. I think that's really important too, because a lot of times you're in a room and later on you'll hear, well, I didn't hear you and I was sitting over there, but somebody in the middle heard me fine, and so that's a whole nother thing.
Right.
I don't know how you could actually fix that in the moment, but the voice is an instrument, but as you said, it can go sharp and flat, um, when you're trying to make yourself be heard, and that's the last thing you want to be thinking of. You just
Yeah.
want to be able to be in the moment, singing your heart out, or expressing the lyric in a way that moves you and connects with the band, because it's a collective experience.
Mhm.
And you don't want to be thinking, I can't hear myself,
Right.
or I wonder if they can hear me. You just want to be relaxed on stage. So
And just to reiterate, if it's not your director, if you don't hire a director to do this and your director is not at your tech rehearsal or whatever, have an advocate. But that advocate should also hear the show to speak to exactly what Maria just said, that they need to know what song is high, what song is low, what song the band comes in, so they need to have a sense of that. So if they're going to help you outside during the show, they need to know what that program is so they know, oh, here comes the quiet tune. I better listen more carefully here and have a music sheet with them. So that's just a little Sue's views and Maria's views. Since I had her here with me today, I just wanted to talk to her a little bit about that, about finessing sound. Maria will be at Don't Tell Mamas November 1st and 2nd with this other awesome young woman named Leslie Vincent from Minnesota. They're doing a duet jazz show. Please join her then and watch for their interview on NiteLife Exchange. I'm Sue Matsuki. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Sue's Views. Thanks, Maria.
thank you.